with me, and to be honest, I can't pronounce your last name, so I'm not even going to try. How do you say it?
In America, we just say Spies back, even though it seems like spies back. But in German, it's like Spies. So forget that. I just go by Chance.
That's exactly it. I've got Chance here from Chance TV, Chance Television. Don't go to Chance TV because it doesn't exist, but chancetelevision.com. And Chance interviews people all over the world. But that's not the important thing. We've got the question of the week this week. Chance, we always start off with the same way to give guests a little icebreaker so they know what the show's all about. It's about being stupid. If you could eat any sandwich, only one for the rest of your life, what sandwich would it be?
I have the answer. Instantly, I have the answer. It's Millburn, New Jersey has a deli sandwich place called the Millburn Deli. My friends and all the graduates from Millburn High School, when one of us is in New Jersey, literally FedExes them to our friends all over the country. That's how good their Turkey Joe is. They put sugar and honey in their coleslaw and in their Russian dressing. When they sold the business twice, the recipes and the things they do for their iced teas are in the tens of thousands. It's probably like meth or crack or something, but it's the best sandwich you've ever had in your life. Millburn Deli, I love you.
You said it's in Jersey?
It's in Millburn, New Jersey, yes.
It's definitely meth and crack, just so you know. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. I was wondering why I was like, robbing people and giving hand jobs and stuff. I was like, I need the sandwich, man.
Anyway, Chance, can you tell us about what you do and your goals with me and what's the history of it?
Pretty simple. I did finance. I moved to Hong Kong right after college. I thought, I saw the movie Wall Street. Charlie's got brown hair. I got brown hair. We'll do finance. It'll be great. It wasn't great. Career-wise, it worked out, but I hate it every day. I'm not a corporate guy. They work on Sunday. They're like, Chance, you can wear jeans on Sunday. I'm like, what are you talking about, jeans on Sunday? I'm like, I'm going to be naked, unconscious, or, hungover. They're like, no, you'd be working so hard at your desk. So that lasted for about 10 years. And then when I finally retired and came back to the States, my father said, what are you doing? I said, nothing. He said, what are you going to do? So he came up with the idea, just get a camera and go into Times Square and interview people because you love talking and you love listening. And we actually had a camera. My friend who came with me, she worked at Staples. She got me a demo camera for nothing. And it was so cheap that the camera had no input jack for the microphone. It only had the external mic. So she would hold a wire that would go to a microphone that was attached to nothing. So me going back and forth with you was just to make it look good. However, we got really great stuff. One time I was interviewing this guy. He was wearing khakis, light blue jean shirt, very professional looking. As we're doing the interview, it was over. He was no longer that interesting. And I said, okay, let's wrap this up. And he started pulling on the mic, but this is in Times Square, like 1 a.m, aggressively pulling it. And he pulled it down to where his waist was to let me feel he had a gun on him. And I felt the gun he had in his waist. And I said, well, let's continue talking. We're going to talk till the battery dies. And he goes, yes, that's more like it. And the girl's looking at me. She has no idea because the mic doesn't work. So she's like, what are we doing? I'm like, let's keep going with this. So we did it, interviewed the whole thing, went around the corner. I go, dude had a mic. That's it. We're never interviewing again. I'm moving to Canada. It's nice up there. So that caught me off guard. We got some other great stuff. And we put this on YouTube just, for the hell of it. And I got these 3 engineer kids from, I think it was Columbia Engineering School. And I don't want to say like nerdy, but they were the kind of kids in those movies where you'd say, okay, that's the one who's got all the answers to the test, and that person would play the know-it-all person. And the 2 girls were very attractive, but they just talked about engineering. And the other guy, Indian dude, talked about engineering. So I don't care about that. The way I started off was simply, I'm going to Times Square to talk about sex. How do you get it? How do you keep it? How do you get the right one? And then you get dumped. How do you get her back? Or how do you dump a guy? How do you, everything was about the best pickup line you've heard or one that works on you. So it was all about seduction, sex, and your favorite position. And people wanted to talk about it. And I thought, these kids are so nice, but they're probably 3 virgins. These were the biggest sex freaks in my life that I've ever interviewed to this day. And I've interviewed people at sex clubs who had bolts coming out of their back. I'll tell you about them later. This guy, I said, how do you guys relax? Because I was actually interested. The pressure of an engineering school like Columbia, people literally, they kill themselves. It's that hard pressure. He's like, oh, I just have sex with them. I said, what do you mean? He's like, I have sex with both of them. We all have sex together whenever I want. I walk over, I go, time for sex. And I looked at the girls, I go, is he kidding? They're like, no, he's amazing. We have sex all the time. We have sex on the desk. We have sex in the quad. I just said, here, you take the mic. You need a show. I said, you got game. I'm lucky if I, even get a girl to call me back, and you're pulling off group sex all the time. He's like, not just them, pretty much all the girls. And they were seriously going, yeah, like I don't know if his father owns India or steel mining company in India or something, but he had every girl he wanted on that campus all at once, whenever. He would just pick up the phone and they'd come over. I literally tried to hang out with him, but he pushed me. I was like, we're going to hang out, dude. I'll call you this weekend. He's like, no. I'm like, I'm getting blown off by some Indian engineering dude. But anyway, so that was awesome.
Holy cow.
You'd never think that like eyes wide shut stuff is happening in the dorms at engineering in Columbia, would you? I didn't. Another time I got asked to do an interview, and it was this guy who kind of like Alice Cooper, cross-dressing, I think still into girls, but piano player, but does like goth rock music. So at the time, anyone who would talk to me was interesting. That's all I wanted. So I went to interview him, me in the center, he's next to me, gorgeous, gorgeous girl, and gorgeous girl over here. But these girls literally had bolts, like Home Depot metal screws, but they're bolts, not the screw, in their backs, permanently in there. So these are hardcore body modification people. I'm doing the interview. All of a sudden, I start feeling a hand go down the back of my pants. And I'm thinking, all right, 2 girls, 1 guy. I got a 66% shot that it's a girl. Somehow, I don't think it's a girl. Anyway, but I'm trying to be professional. And I'm pretty good when someone's watching, they do not know what's happening. If I tell you at this moment, now watch me, then you can see it. It wasn't him, thank God. He told her to do it, and I said she started doing it. So I was like, all right, that's better. But looking back, there's always something that goes off during my interviews, especially if you're doing stuff in Times Square. You got to expect that. In studio, I did have a painting fall on my head from behind, and I just popped my head right back up, and I go, Justin Bieber, he's still throwing eggs at houses. What an idiot. And they're like, Chance, if part of the set falls on your head, you can cut. I'm like, I'm very serious. I'm going to keep doing it. Anyway, so we've had a lot of crazy stuff. Some of the more wild things, I interviewed James Gandolfini, and he was the nicest man in the whole world. Most of our interview, though, actually was talking about the mafia from New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey. I'm not in the mafia, but my family were all police officers at like pretty high levels. So I knew all the names. So we talked and talked and talked. And after a little while, he said, you can't use any of this. We can't use this. I said, you have my word. We're not going to use any of it. But we do have a little bit of us talking back and forth other than mob talk. And then about a week later, I'm doing a red carpet, and everybody's beeper pager phone goes off. He died. And it wound up being the last interview of him ever alive on camera. And so I had to go do like the talk show circuit about talking about what an amazing guy he was and how sad it was and everything. And I mean, he was so cool. It was a big, big event, and all these, A-list people were there. Alec Baldwin was there, all these other stars. And it was a private room. You know how they do it. They set up a private room once they do the red carpet. He stayed out in the public room with all the guests and took pictures for like 2.5 hours. And I know because I held the camera for all these people. That's how nice the dude was. He's like, take a picture. I'm like, give me the camera. I'm the camera guy. Click, 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 click. And I just said, this is the way it should be. I mean, everybody else was nice, but I smiled and then they walked away. Another crazy one. People after a while were like, you make celebrities die. I was interviewing this guy named Art Ford. If you kind of know the music business, not like the Jay-Z level Kanye stuff, he's one of the biggest people in Hollywood. And he created, what's I gonna say? I can't believe I forgot her name. She died. She sang My Bodyguard. What's her? Yeah, her daughter too. I'm thinking Mariah Carey, but that's not her. She was from Newark, New Jersey. Oh my God, one of the best singers ever. How do I blank on this? Art Ford. Do any
the same way I blank.
Yeah, this is just crazy. I think she died in a bathtub. This is going to be so bad when this comes up because it's so obvious. Singer. Okay. Thank God for Google. We would have had to get in a car and go to a library or something.
Googling during a live interview.
There
This
you
is
go.
something that's never been done before.
What's that?
Who was it? Who was
Whitney
it
Houston.
again?
It was Whitney Houston,
Why
which
didn't
is
I
crazy.
think of that? Holy crap.
I talked about this yesterday. So I'm with Art Ford, who was her manager and created her whole career. I'm interviewing him, and boom, the phones start going off, and everybody's like, so I stopped it. They said, what happened? They said, Whitney Houston just died. And he said, oh my God. I said, yeah, we'll do an interview another time. He said, no, turn the cameras on. And he started crying on camera, talking about the voice of an angel and how they wanted, he said, and the music business wanted to make her tougher and have her a rough edge and make her more street and more, rap gangster stuff. And look what they did. They got her killed. She's dead. She killed herself or whatever. And I'm like, and I'm holding the mic and I'm starting to get sad too, because he was so emotional, but he wanted to be on camera. So I did it, and it was pretty cool. But so enough about people dying because I interviewed them. What else is up?
So with something like that, I know it's not a normal occurrence for that to happen. Do you think that emotional response that you got from him added to the interview and added to what the viewers were getting from it? Because let's face it, what we do here and what you do is for the viewers. It's not for the stars. It's to get bigger and better and everything, but it's for the viewer to really make a connection with the star. Do you think the crying helped and the emotion helps?
That's a perfect, excellent question, because everything usually you get is, like, I interviewed someone the other day. I had 2 publicists and 1 manager, all had to approve every single question. And that's not a problem, but you wind up with the same generic questions, the same generic answers. These people do press junkets, and they literally have 5 or 6 minute intervals from 9 in the morning till 8 at night. Same questions, bored out of their mind. Then they go to the red carpet, same questions. Magazine circuit, blogs, same question. So when you have something like this dude is crying over someone who he's known forever, and as a little girl to a mega star, and now she's dead in the bathtub, or however it was, it's, it's really not that it leads. It's not, we weren't looking for, somebody got shot and we got the carjacker who did it. It was more of, this person meant so much to them, and it makes the star more humanized rather than just, best singer in the world. She's on the TV, she's on the magazine, she's all one-dimensional. He made her 3-dimensional into a person by bringing her out of that. And I think whenever you have something in that sense where people are talking about them as a person, not as a product, a star, a moneymaker, an endorser, or an ambassador or something, that really, really helps. I mean, it's great, obviously, if I'm there involved in the interview, but it's really great to see that person's a real person and not just somebody who gets a script or gets a song and entertains half the world.
So the talk show format, one of the things that I'm trying to do, and this is just, honestly, it's based on a chat. One of my biggest idols is Carson. And he used to have real conversations with people, right? He used to actually talk to people, get some emotional input. When I watch the newer guys, the Myers and things like that, they don't actually have an emotional connection with these people. They might backstage, but it's not real. Sure, there's some laughs, but I was told by Ron Russell yesterday, people want to hear about sex, they want to hear about drugs, they want to hear about all that stuff, right? And I'm not going to ask somebody, hey, do you like a finger in your butt? That's not something I'm going to ask on there. But it's a valid question. You know?
Depends whose finger, Jesse, but it can be very, very wonderful.
But you know what I mean? I think the emotion's been taken out of Hollywood. And Ron was telling me yesterday that some of the problems that people have is they're not actually acting anymore. And maybe just let yourself free. I'm probably never going to be big enough to have half the stars you've had on, but realistically,
no, don't think that. Your format is perfect. What you're doing now is perfect. This is exactly what will work. And given this horrific virus, everybody's on the same playing field. Jimmy Fallon, I saw once, because I had wanted to count, but they did a story on it. He had like 76 games he would play with his celebrities. Johnny Carson didn't have a game. Why are you playing games? It's because you can't interview. Amazing talent as far as dancing, not dancing, impersonations, singing, doing skits on SNL. He's phenomenal. You put him in front of a camera and say, hey, now you see it, because it's him in his basement. And did you see the Lady Gaga interview he did? It was so bad, it was on Google. I mean, and now they're making, I know they're doing this. This is, well, I should say, I highly suspect his kids interrupting all his interviews. That's all staged, in my opinion. Could be completely wrong, but that is a circus act thing of, just like the show is a circus act, the kids coming in, and then there'll be a dog coming in or a cat coming in or whatever, a leaky pipe will fall on his head because he alone, it's not there. And the same thing with a lot of the other ones. Samantha Bee is excellent. She can tear it up. John Oliver on his own. I mean, basically, they've always been on their own. They go out there and nail it. But you take away the audience, like SNL. I loved SNL, and Weekend Update was my favorite thing. And those two guys are ridiculously talented. But when you don't have even that audience element, it takes away, and the studio background, and what you realize how much is there besides the person. But if you take, like, my guy is Johnny Carson, you take him and put him anywhere, or Tosh, watch Tosh.0, one of the single greatest interviewers, period. He's so quick and funny and clever and witty, and he can interview anybody, from the lady who makes things from cow poop or whatever she's doing to, with Drake, and they're incredible. But the machine that put together Fallon and got rid of Leno, who was doing incredibly. Leno was gone just because his agent, they didn't have a proper agency behind it. And same thing with Letterman and Leno, and all, these guys who could really pull it off. Then all of a sudden it becomes Seth Meyers, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel's actually pretty good. And Conan, they even admitted it. Conan, the reason he's still on is because they didn't have anyone to replace him with. They couldn't figure out who to replace him. So then they said, Conan's going to tour the world.
The guy that got fucked the most out of that was the best one of the bunch, in my opinion. But Craig Ferguson had a fuck of a show. And he got sorry for swearing, everybody who's watching. Please like the video. But he really got screwed because he was the best in the bunch.
What happened to him? Because he like with that robot.
He was supposed to get Letterman's spot. They had promised it to him. And then Colbert was getting better ratings over on his show. So they brought Colbert in, and Ferguson basically just said, fuck this. I'm not taking anything except the spot I was promised. And he went and did his own thing. So
he was sharp. He was quick. Yeah. He was sharp. They're all sharp.
The biggest thing with him, he could talk to the women and get, this sounds a little bit dirty, but he would get an almost sexual response out of most of the women because he was a very handsome man. He had that accent that makes sorry everybody, but it makes the panties drop, and he was good. Realistically, he's the one that got screwed the most. So, and he was funny, and he had no fucking budget either. Like, he had zero, but he was basically in the same room I'm in. So that sounds horrible, but it's true. So let's get back to you and why you're actually here. Where can people find you to watch Chance TV, to get to know more of that emotional connection with you?
Okay, real quick, because this is just, OCD in my brain, compulsive. They had promised Whoopi, the network she's on, Whoopi had gotten promised a late night talk show in order to sign up again for the show she's on, whatever, that View thing. And then they said, things change, whatever, no show for you. So a bunch of idiots. Not a good business. But fortunately now, like my sister said, we're on a level playing field. Everybody's doing Zoom or what we're doing here. So if you're good and they're stuck and Corona ain't going anywhere based on America's behavior, we can catch right up to them. If people want to see it, basically, I finally got my website together and it's looking okay. It's chancetelevision.com. That's the website, chancetelevision.com. And then Chance TV on Instagram. I'm always on there doing something. Where is Chance TV on Twitter? I don't do anything on there that much, so you're not missing anything. But basically, I would say just check out my Instagram. That's where I put a lot of the stuff. And then chancetelevision.com is the website. And we're doing good stuff. I just had like an hour with Kelly Ben-Simone. She had been disappeared for a little while, but now she has 2 new shows coming out and a new book and huge stuff coming out that I can't announce because I was just told in private. So she's going to be back big. And we did like an hour talking about sexism, ageism, all kinds of crap. And then we're going to do a whole thing with all the former supermodels. We did Paulina Poroskova already, Carrie Otis, Federic. We have Vendela lined up. We have Angie Everhart's coming on. We have Helena Christensen, Christy Turlington. We're just going to whale through them in the next month. Yeah, and talk about all the things that, like, I mean, and Carrie was open, talked about getting raped at 11 and then at 17 by the guy who was the head of Elite Models in Paris, who she was living with, and then he got her hooked on cocaine, and then her husband accidentally put a gun in her handbag and she didn't know it. So she put the handbag down on the ground on a table, and it blew a hole through her shoulder. Like, this girl's been through hell. Thank God, Carrie, her life is beautiful now. We are so happy. She's got beautiful kids, husband. She's out in Colorado making healthy food, raising goats and stuff. So it worked out. But we're going to go through the whole thing of what being a 90s model, like the real supermodels, like everybody's a supermodel now, you know, if you got an Instagram account.
Yeah.
These are the girls who really had, you know, like 70 covers and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what's coming up. And then we'll tear through the Housewives, of course, and then just anybody's interesting. Like after this, I have Chloe Snow is coming on. Chloe was the girl. She's probably the best pianist in the world right now. She has Liberace's Mirror piano, and at the Grammys last year, she was the one playing when Cardi B was on the piano, singing and strutting and sexing down and having sex with the piano, basically. Cardi, I love it, though. I'm not putting it down. And she's also plugged in with Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg, so she may be a classical pianist. I hate saying that word, pianist. Shouldn't be that way, penis. But anyway, she plays piano. She does it classically, and she's plugged in with all the rappers. So she's going to have some rock star stories. And then I'm going to bring on this 8-year-old DJ from Dubai, who's one of the best DJs I've ever heard in my life. So my thing basically is, if you're fun and you're interesting, I don't care if you're famous. I don't care if you're in Page Six or some idiot doing something at a club. As long as you're entertaining to the public, and my barometer is, if I'm interested, you're definitely going to be interested, because I'm ADD off the friggin' charts.
That's kind of the point of my show. I'll interview everybody too, from the crappiest author there is with 2 book sales to whoever wants to come on. So normally I go about 25 minutes. We got about 4 minutes left for people that can actually talk. So in the future, if you had, this is a stupid star question, but if you had a dream interview, who would be your dream interview that you haven't got yet?
That's a wonderful, awesome question, because maybe he will hear it. I want Robert Downey Jr. He's had a life where at times he's running around LA, high on crack with a handgun. He admits this, trying to find drugs. And he's also had a contract where for a 2-picture film for Iron Man, he got $250 million. Highest ever, guaranteed, $250 million. Forget box office, returns and anything like that. And he can sing. He can play piano incredibly. He can dance. The boy can friggin' act, and he's got a story to tell. I mean, let's talk about jail, rehab, drugs, waking up in his neighbor's house. He thought he was going home. He went home. He wakes up. He's in his neighbor's house. Thank God they didn't, call the police and have him shot or something. But anybody that rocks, and he's got the persona. And he does it. He plays it, and he knows it, because there's times where you can see him break. He plays the I'm just so friggin' awesome. You're watching like a majestical person in front of you show how life should be. And just the way he talked, like one time they said, it was the whole cast of Avengers, and somebody said, I think it was in England, like, I understand they're very strict with everything, like with the props and the clothing and this and that and whatever. And he said, yeah, they are. They are. But I took home the big A from Avengers and shipped it home, FedExed it. And he's like, that's the stuff I'm going to do, because that's who I am. And everyone just cracked up and said, yeah, he really did. He stole it and shipped it home. But he's somebody he's amazing. He's amazing. I mean, and Bill Murray, you're definitely on the list, just because I wouldn't have to do a thing. It's just,
Murray, that's a huge get. Bill Murray would be a huge get, right? And who knows how many people would see it, but just to get him to do it would be huge, right? Because he doesn't do them very often.
He has a 1-800 number, and that's how you get him to do films. If you are his friend, maybe 6 people aside from his family have his number. It's like George Clooney in that level. But literally, I read all his books, and major production houses, I'm talking like Paramount and stuff, they would have to call his 1-800 number, hope he calls back, normally doesn't, and then he'll say, I'll do the movie or I won't do the movie, and then all of a sudden he shows up 2 days late. No contract, no anything for the movie, no whatever, and they're waiting, and it's like, and he kind of made a joke, like, he's like, you got to keep Hollywood in line. And so I think a lot of the ways he does it is so not the, oh, here's the lawyer, here's the contract, here's this, here's the accountant and everything. Just whatever. Okay, now you need me. I'm on day 2 of the set. I can walk. We've put some film in here. You've got the whole cast crew. You've announced it. Now we negotiate, because now the hook is in. So as much as he plays around, I think there's a really sharp, powerful businessman inside there.
So do you think that's something that's missing from Hollywood right now, is the stars being actual stars, the Robert Downey Jr. doing the shit that he wants to do, the Bill Murray doing the shit that he wants to do? Do you think that's missing? Because that shows who the real people are. You know, there was a huge backlash when I've got tiger blood in my veins. What the fuck is his name? You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I interviewed him. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, but is that missing? Is that something that people want to see? The meltdowns, the stupidity?
I think everybody loves a meltdown. I mean, I would watch a meltdown of myself and enjoy the hell out of it. And there's going to be one. There's going to be about one every 7 to 10 months, believe me. I was having a meltdown before. Dude, I friggin' brush my teeth almost with butt paste, all right? So trust me, I'm this close to making the going in for relaxation thing at whatever the sunny place in Malibu is, where they go for overexertion, you know, like when they're high on heroin for whatever. But no spikes in here. I'm clean that way. I think one of the things that's missing from Hollywood, there are actually two things are missing. And we talked about it on the Jimmy Star show with Ron Russell. Love both those guys. Totally awesome. Yep. Eileen, thank you for setting that up. And Eileen, thank you for setting this up. I really like this guy. I went on Trust. Eileen's like, you're going to go on the show. I didn't ask. I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And I'm very, very happy. You're missing two things. Ron Russell talked about it the most. He talked about it in a video I did that got banned on Facebook. Facebook, what happened? Literally banned it. He wouldn't show it. Actually, he was too honest about it.
He told me about it. Yep.
Yep. He told it like it is, and Facebook said, we'll have none of that. It's on YouTube, though. We're missing glamour and Hollywood legends. The people that were around, like the Marilyn Monroes and the Humphrey Bogarts and Sophia Loren and stuff like that, they're gone. They're not coming back. That was a generation. We can just forget it. George Clooney is smooth. He's awesome, whatever. But we don't have that line of people. Then beyond that, you have pretty much where a movie is made and you've already seen it because it's been done a different way, like when someone switched bodies with each other and the mother's his daughter and this guy's that guy, or you're watching a Marvel movie or a DC Comics movie. So you've gone to all this Avengers and all this stuff, and I watch them too, but there's not a lot of creativity. And then beyond not a lot of creativity, Sixth Sense, that was really creative. That was a long time ago. You also then have actors and actresses who, unfortunately now it's social media. Like Victoria's Secret runway, why is Gigi there? Why is Kylie Jenner there? Because they can bring 60 million viewers instantly. It's not because they are supermodel like they used to have. And then you have the actors behaving in a certain way where it's more of, how is this going to get me a little thing of what's my day like in Us Weekly? It needs to be a little bit more of the, like you said, the James Dean and the Robert Downey Jr. and the more of a little bit even more like Russell Crowe. I don't say that he should be hitting people in the head with phones, which he did. And I'll tell you the quick story behind that. That guy got like 12 million for getting hit in the head with a phone. How do you get 12 million? Here's why. He got a good lawyer, a New York lawyer. And the lawyer was going to get Russell Crowe kicked out of the United States of America, and he couldn't make any more films. That's why he got beat me all day, every day with a phone. I think it was like 10 million, 12, something huge, but it was like just for a simple assault in the head. That's why. Yep. But that behavior of Russell Crowe, that to me is Hollywood. You know, I hate to say it, but my entertainment factor, what I always looked for in Hollywood was the entertainment factor of when they're not on camera. I want to see what's going on when they're not on camera. Are they crashing cars? Are they getting people pregnant? Are their houses getting broken into? To me, that's the public eye. Yes, I can go see the movie and I watch it. I go, okay, that's pretty good. Or, you're playing the same person in every friggin' movie. I don't want to name names, but you obviously can see it. There's a lot of people and it's the same role. And it's basically who they are.
Yeah. So I love Johnny Depp. He's a fantastic actor. But he plays the same role in at least 8 movies, if that makes sense. And it's a different role, but it's a version of himself, I think, right? Jack Sparrow is not very much different than the Fear and Loathing guy in Las Vegas guy. It's really not that much different, right?
Or
It's just
Scissorhands.
Or Scissorhands, yep.
Yeah.
But that's Johnny Depp. If you want to be on the show to defend yourself, come on and tell me I'm a dink. I don't care. Bring it on. But
he did Donnie Brasco, and that was amazing. He was great in Donnie Brasco, so he can do it. But he's drawn, I think, and Hollywood makes these roles for him. So they literally, the writers will go, okay, what's next for Depp? Write something like this. He'll love it.
Ooh.
And they'll put in whatever that director is, and who has a wife with crazy hair, but she's a phenomenal actress too. I can't remember. They've done all those Halloween movies together, like I forget their names, but anyway.
Rob, is that right?
Who's that?
Rob Zombie? Is that
not Rob Zombie. There's a guy. He's married to this wild type woman. She's a phenomenal actress. He's a movie producer. And he's one of the people that Depp has said, like, if he writes it, I'm in it. I'm just in it. And they've done so many of those collaborations. But it kind of, even if you're exceptionally talented, a pigeonhole thing, you see the same role. I can only eat, chocolate chip mint ice cream so many days in a row. You get diminishing returns. It's like, give me something freaking different, knock it out and just go for it, And I can't even think how many people have done that. Well, Hilary Swank playing a guy, I mean, that kind of stuff, you go, holy shit. And then $1 Million Baby, you're crying your eyes out. So there are some ridiculously talented people out there that can see. That's the thing. Like someone like her, they can pull off a role and become a role that makes you so friggin' entertained. Like I hate sad movies, but you watch 10 minutes and you're like, oh, I'm fucked. I got to watch this whole thing. I mean, this is just incredible, incredible talent. And there's a lot of people out there who can do it. It's just, I don't know if the market's there. And then also, you got to have the scripts, and they're a little low on scripts. Everything's kind of a rewrite.
Well, everything's a rewrite because that's where the money was originally. They're trying to franchise things over 50 years, right? I wouldn't be surprised to see Casablanca come out. I wouldn't be The King and I come out again, that type of thing. And it's all money, and because it's been proven in the past. But if you look at something like Shawshank Redemption, right? That was a blockbuster film with realistically, it was semi-new. There was certain parts of it that weren't, or The Green Mile was semi-new, right? And they were both blockbusters. I think that's what's missing is maybe the people that are becoming writers to have careers as writers shouldn't be writers in the first place, right? They're not coming from a real place. I'm sorry, writers. I'm going to get roasted for that.
Good luck. People. Good luck from the Writers Guild. You're banned for life. You're like, your show's going to get huge.
But yes, people should be able to make a career of it, but maybe it's not studying the same people over and over and over again. For instance, I talked to Sue Wong. Do you know Sue?
I actually got an interview with her. She's amazing. Holy Christ.
It was like talking to my grandmother. She is insane. We didn't even talk about what she does. We talked about her history. And if that woman had a movie made about her, it would be completely different than what is currently out there. There's some aspects that have been told about it, but it's Chinese and American history and really the story of the American dream. We are way over time, ladies and gentlemen. Chance, I want to thank you for coming on. I'm going to cut this baby short because I'm sure you got somewhere else to go.
Go do it.
Gentlemen, we ended in one way. The last question I have is, what's one thing that you've done to make yourself happy today?
Well, it's something I did in private in the bathroom, and good thing no one saw it. So we'll leave that alone, and it works every time, Jesse. Every time.
That's fair enough. Thank you, Chance. Everybody, we end the show in one way. Chance, I'm going to ask you to wave bye-bye.
Thank you so much.